Today's lesson is the Portuguese Riviera, a destination fit for royalty. Hi everybody, my name is Roger.
And my name is Helen.
And today we're going to go traveling, which we should be able to do more often now. And of course, Europe is a popular destination, and I've heard lots of good things about Portugal. I don't know if you've ever been there yourself before, Helen, but I know a lot of my friends have been there. I haven't been there myself, so maybe I will become interested after today's lesson about the Riviera in Portugal.
Yes, this part of Portugal certainly sounds very interesting and nice to visit. So we're talking about a particular area that's called the Portuguese Riviera. Riviera, the word itself refers to a part of a country that is near the sea. So we can also talk about the French Riviera, which is the southern part of France that's near the Mediterranean, the Italian Riviera, but here we're talking about the Portuguese Riviera, and this area is a destination fit for royalty.
Right, so it's a great place to go. Even kings and queens would go there. And of course, they've probably been there a lot already, and maybe you should consider going there too. So let's talk about the Portuguese Riviera in today's program. Let's listen now to the first part.
The Portuguese Riviera, a destination fit for royalty. Just west of Lisbon is a gorgeous coastal area known as the Portuguese Riviera. Once a summer retreat for European royalty, the Riviera continues to attract travelers with promises of a luxurious sun-filled vacation. There you'll find white sand beaches, stretches of rocky coast, and bars and restaurants spilling onto the promenade.
大家好，第一部分我们看到形容词 coastal 指的是海岸的或者是沿海的。例如 After the earthquake, the government warned its citizens to avoid coastal areas. 地震发生之后，政府告诫其公民避免到沿海地区。或是 The coastal areas of the country are known for having large, expensive houses. 该国的沿海地区以拥有大而昂贵的房子闻名。另外补充这个字的动词 coast 意思是靠惯性滑行或者是下滑，像是 This ship coasts along at 30 miles per hour. 这艘船以每小时30英里的速度滑行，或是 The rock coasted down the slope. 石头正沿着斜坡向下滑。接着我们看到名词 retreat 表示隐居地、退隐处或者是静养所，像是 For her vacation last year, Susie chose to go on a retreat in the mountains. Susie 去年休假时，她选择去山上静养。另外 retreat 也可以搭配 from 当动词使用，有躲避或者是撤退的意思。例如 Sometimes I have to retreat from the chaos of the city. 有时我得躲开城市的纷纷扰扰。以及 After the scandal, the politician retreated from the public eye. 发生丑闻之后，这位政客退出了公众视线。
So once again, the title of today's lesson is the Portuguese Riviera, a destination fit for royalty. So royalty here refers to kings, queens, and members of the royal family, the family of the kings and queens. All together, they can be referred to as royalty. So the Portuguese Riviera is fit for or good enough for members of the royal family, for kings and queens. And it's a destination which is a place where someone is going to or goes to. So if you're going to the Portuguese Riviera, then that is your destination.
Exactly. You are destined to go there. That is your destination. And here in the first paragraph it says, just west of Lisbon is a gorgeous coastal area known as the Portuguese Riviera. So as you know, Lisbon is the capital city and the major city of Portugal. And if you go just west of there, toward the west, toward the Atlantic Ocean, then you'll find this coastal area, which is gorgeous. If something's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's spectacular. You're going to want to take lots of pictures of this place. Maybe you'll want to retire there and spend the rest of your life there. And it's a coastal area, which means it's next to the coast, which of course is where the ocean and the land meet. Like Hualien is a coastal area, Taidong is a coastal area on the east coast.
Yes, and the Portuguese Riviera, once a summer retreat for European royalty, continues to attract travelers with promises of a luxurious, sun-filled vacation. So, before, it was considered a summer retreat for European royalty. So a retreat is a place where you go to for peace and relaxation, to get away from it all, from a lot of people. So at a retreat, you have a lot of privacy. And this was a retreat for royalty, for European royalty. But today, more people can go there, not just nobles and important rich people. Regular people can go to the Portuguese Riviera. And this place, however, still promises a luxurious and sun-filled vacation. So something that is luxurious is very expensive and comfortable. So although it's true that more people can go to the Portuguese Riviera, the writer is suggesting that you still have to have some money and something to spend in order to enjoy your time there.
So you'll be treated well, you will be pampered, you'll have nice food, you can hang out by the beach because, well, they have sun-filled beaches there, which means it's sunny there often. Yeah, you might have a rainy day or two, maybe even an occasional earthquake, but hopefully it will be nice and sunny when you go there, if that's your sort of thing. And there, in the Portuguese Riviera, you'll find white sand beaches, stretches of rocky coast, and bars and restaurants spilling onto the promenade. So, yes, indeed, if you like beaches, well, these beaches have white sand, which is supposedly fine. It will feel nice between your toes as you walk on the sand. And you'll have some beautiful rocky coast there, so you can take some great pictures. And if you get thirsty for a drink, if you want some Portuguese wine and some beer or something like that, there are bars there and restaurants where you can sample the local cuisine, and they spill onto the promenade, which is kind of like a sidewalk or a passageway where people can walk between some buildings and the beach. It's quite pleasant.
Yep, it sounds like definitely a luxurious place to be to spend a summer.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. Let's move on now to the second part and find out some more about the Portuguese Riviera.
The seaside town of Cascais is the perfect place to begin your trip. Be sure to spend some time in the historic center, where you can wander through cobblestone streets. From there, head south and make your way along the coast to Praia da Duquesa, a beach frequented by tourists and locals alike. On your way, stop to admire the Castro Guimarães Museum.
(第二部分我们看到单字 seaside 这个字是名词，指海边或者是海滨。举例来说 We had a wonderful dinner at a seaside restaurant. 我们在海边餐厅吃了一顿美好的晚餐。或者 Let's go to the seaside to swim this weekend. 我们这个周末一起去海边游泳吧。
So the seaside town of Cascais is the perfect place to begin your trip. So if you're going to the Portuguese Riviera, you should start your journey, start your visit at Cascais, which is a seaside town. So in other words, this town is located by the sea. When you're there, be sure to spend some time in the historic center where you can wander through cobblestone streets.
Okay, so this part of town is historic, which means it's old and played a particular role in history. So, of course, there'll be lots of old buildings there, and it also has cobblestone streets. It's not just asphalt or tar or concrete or whatever. It's made out of bricks or stones. And so that can be quite romantic, quite sentimental. And of course, you're on vacation, you're having your holiday, so you can just wander through those cobblestone streets. If you wander, that just means you kind of walk around with no particular place to go. You're just having fun, exploring things. You're on vacation, you're not in a hurry, you don't need to get to work by a certain time. You are having fun, and from there, from the historic center, head south and make your way along the coast to Praia da Duquesa, a beach frequented by tourists and locals alike. So make your way along the coast. If you make your way, you just start to go in a certain direction. If you're a child in the morning, you can make your way to school. You can walk to school. You can get to school. In this particular case, you make your way along the coast of Portugal, and you're going to this beach called Praia da Duquesa. And it's frequented by tourists and locals alike. So here we've got the word frequent, which in this particular case is a verb. That just means people often go to this place.
Right, so you can say that you frequent a bar quite often, which means you go to this bar quite often. And once you're at Praia da Duquesa, you can frequent many different things along the way. And on your way, stop to admire the Castro Guimarães Museum. So evidently, this is a very special museum that people who are there should spend some time in and visit.
So that's something else you can see in the Portuguese Riviera. And let's talk some more about other things you can see in the Portuguese Riviera in our third paragraph. Let's listen.
Built in a small cove on the south coast, this bright yellow museum is every bit as interesting as the objects within. The former palace showcases several architectural styles and features a striking tower as well as an interior courtyard with a stone fountain. When you've finished admiring the building itself, head inside to view the collection of paintings and the impressive library, which contains 25,000 books, including rare manuscripts from the 16th century.
第三部分，我们看到单字 showcase 这个字是动词，它的意思是展示。例如 At every opportunity, Linda showcased her singing talents in front of strangers. 一有机会 Linda 就会在陌生人面前展现歌艺。也可以说 The company showcased its new products at a press event. 那家公司在记者会上展示其新产品。最后，我们看到形容词 striking 表示引人注目的、惊人的，或者是很有魅力的，像是 I was blown away by the striking beauty of the waterfall. 我被那个瀑布异乎寻常的美丽所折服。另外，补充这个字的动词 strike, S-T-R-I-K-E, strike 指给人点点点印象，或者是让人觉得点点点。例如 It strikes people as strange that the man disappeared without a trace. 那名男子消失得无影无踪，人们觉得很奇怪。或是 The dinosaur skeleton is the first thing that strikes visitors to the museum. 那具恐龙骨骸是让参访博物馆的游客留下印象的第一个展品。
So we're still talking about the Castro Guimarães Museum, which is built in a small cove. So it says here, built in a small cove on the south coast. This bright yellow museum is every bit as interesting as the objects within. So first, a bit about the location of this museum. It's built in a small cove. So a cove is a small area of sea that is surrounded by land. So it's like a protected area of the beach. And this museum is built in this cove, so you can imagine that it's in a very romantic and very isolated spot. And this bright yellow museum, so it's yellow in color from the outside, it's striking. You can probably recognize it from afar. And not only is the appearance from the outside interesting, but everything that's inside the museum, the objects within the museum, are also very interesting.
Indeed. So, yeah, sometimes museums are very interesting because of their collections inside the museum, but also a lot of times the building itself is interesting as well. So we're saying the museum is every bit as interesting as the objects within the museum. So both the building itself and the artifacts inside the museum are very interesting. So make sure you check them out. Sounds like a very romantic setting there in a small cove on the south coast. And the former palace, the museum here, showcases several architectural styles and features a striking tower as well as an interior courtyard with a stone fountain. So again, we're talking about the museum itself. It showcases several architectural styles. Now here we have the word showcase, which means it basically shows us these things, and it shows these things because they are very, very special. You could say it displays these different architectural styles.
Right. To showcase basically means to show something in a way that attracts attention. So you're trying to show it off so that people will notice it. And this building showcases several architectural styles, so several styles related to the building, and it also features a striking tower. So it has a tower, and this tower is described as being striking. So something that is striking attracts your attention or your interest because it's so unusual. So the tower might be really big or really colorful, or it might be built in a particular shape. And it also has an interior courtyard with a stone fountain. So interior here refers to something that is located on the inside. So the castle or the palace inside has a courtyard, which is basically an open space. And in this open space, you have a stone fountain. So it's a very, very detailed description of this palace, and already makes me want to go there.
You're going to have some wonderful photo opportunities there. And when you've finished admiring the building itself, head inside to view the collection of paintings and the impressive library, which contains 25,000 books, including rare manuscripts from the 16th century. It's quite a long sentence, but of course, it's telling you that you can admire the building for a while. But hey, after all, it is a museum, so go inside to view the collection.
So once you're inside, there really is a lot of things to see. You have artworks, paintings, and then you even have a big library. So I imagine that the royal family that used to live there were big readers. They were collectors of books, because 25,000 books is really a lot. And the fact that they're still there, a lot of these books are old. They're from the 16th century. So the fact that they were maintained and well kept for so long shows that this museum is really valued by the local people.
Right, so if you check out the museum, you're going to be enjoying the architecture of the building, but then you need to go inside and check out the collection of paintings. Of course, paintings are works of art on a canvas, and of course, they'll probably have some wonderful paintings there of the local scenery or portraits of famous people from the area. And again, it's going to have this library, which is very impressive. It's got lots of books there, and it's also got really old books, rare manuscripts from the 1500s or the 16th century. So those are just a few of the places you can see in the Portuguese Riviera, and we'll talk some more about other places you can check out in the Portuguese Riviera in our next program. Make sure you join us then. But before we say goodbye today, we'd like to hear from our beloved teacher, Henny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny， 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第二部分有一个句子提到说，从那里沿着海岸往南走到杜克萨海滩。那文中它是用片语 make one's way 去表达前进前往，那后面可以接表示方向地点的副词，像 make one's way home 就表示回家咯。那么 make one's way 后面也常常会接 to、toward、through 或是 into 等等，然后再接地方。举例来说， Matt got his tray of food and made his way to an empty table. Matt 拿了一盘食物并走向前往一张空桌。好，那再来 make one's way 这个片语其实也可以比喻一路顺遂发展，我们就可以用 make one's way in something 来表达说在某方面呢靠自己获得了成功。举例来说， Samantha is making her way in the fashion industry. Samantha 在时尚界逐渐有所成就。好，那我们再来是要补充几个跟 way 相关的片语哦。第一个呢，你可以用claw one's way， 这个 claw C-L-A-W 它当动词就表示用爪子抓，用力的抓住。那 claw one's way 字面意思是好像抓住东西然后费力的前进，引申的意思就是辛苦努力的前进，奋力的前进的意思。好，那第二个补充的是 have one's way， 这是表达如某人所愿，如某人得偿所望的意思。那么 way 在这里呢，它是指意愿啊、愿望。有一个常见的用法就是 have it your way， 照你的方法去做，那它就带有随你便的那种意思咯。像如果我们跟别人讲不通、意见不合，你懒得再争下去的时候，你就说 Alright, have it your way， 好吧，就随你便吧。好，第三个补充的是 come one's way， 这个片语字面上的意思是朝着某人的方向移动，意思就是某事物降临在某人身上，或者是某人遇到了什么什么，这通常是指遇到某个机会或者是某件事，像 good luck will come your way， 好运会降临在你身上的。接着我们读到课文第三部分的第一句，他写道，This bright yellow museum is every bit as interesting as the objects within. 这座明亮黄色博物馆的外观和里头的物品一样富有趣味。这边他用到 every bit， 在这边就表示 in every way， 完全在各方面的那种意思。那当我们用 every bit as 形容词 as somebody or something 是指完全和什么什么一样的怎么样，什么什么丝毫不逊色于什么什么。举例来说， The movie was every bit as good as the book， 电影和书一样好看，就是说没有比较逊色都是一样的好。那我们再补充一下，如果是 not a bit 或者是 not one bit， 它表示说一点也不，后面可以接形容词。假设你说 The joke was not one bit funny， 就是说那个笑话一点都不好笑，所以说它就相当于 The joke was not funny at all， 这笑话一点都不好笑。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Destination. Our final destination on this tour of London will be Buckingham Palace. Retreat.This mountain retreat offers guests an escape from their busy lives. Luxurious. George lives in a luxurious apartment that shows off his great wealth. Wander. Emily wandered through the streets of Paris, taking photos along the way. Frequent. The restaurant is frequented by many Italians longing for a taste of home. Striking.Around half an hour into our hike, we came across a place of striking beauty. Interior. The interior walls of the building are all painted white.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoyed reading along with us. I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.